Chapter 12 El Puerco Season Feast 1979. Peoples of the world who have fought for freedom have exterminated their tyrants. Simón Bolívar. Let it go! Let el pinche puerco go! Or I'll shoot you where you stand, said the angry rancher, pointing his shotgun at me. Well, you see, sir, the pig won't go away, I stammered, trying to shoo away the tie-down pig. This was my mission. My friends and I were supposed to steal a pig. The problem was that this was southern Mexico, and the law was enforced by armed citizens, of which there were plenty. People around here respected property more than they respected people's lives. If a bandit stole property, in this case a pig, the owner could shoot the perpetrator on the spot, or send him to jail from 5 to 10 years. Killing somebody was another story, accidentally or otherwise. Depending on the circumstances, if people kill somebody, they might get a couple of years in jail. Injuring somebody, on the other hand, was a whole different story. Something like, say, running a person down was more expensive than if the victim was killed. People used to say, if you run somebody down, you better run him over again. Hospital and rehab are more expensive than if you kill him. Freeze the story. Uncle Isidro had been clear. Elio, don't break the law. My uncle was a hard man. He had his share of gunfights. He had started his career in Mexican law enforcement in the 70s. Like decades and centuries before, things were not stable in Mexico. People were always talking about social reform because politicians and oligarchies kept the masses oppressed. My uncle was caught between two worlds. On the one hand, he worked for a broken and corrupt judicial system. On the other hand, his big family and tribal circle of friends were always fighting the system, cutting corners, breaking rules, bribing authorities, etc. That's the way things were. That was our lifestyle. Uncle Isidro must have been 5 feet tall, tops. He was skinny, and at first sight, not threatening at all. He knew this. That's why his leverage was always on his right hip. His silver-coated officially issued .45 caliber gun gave him the muscle needed to be heard and make him look 10 feet tall. His .357 Magnum handgun was another story. That thing was scarier than an angry chupacabras. My uncle kept this gun for his off-duty affairs. Sí, tío, I would answer quietly. Good, mijo. Remember, do not break the law. Comprende? My uncle said, staring me down. Back to my story. Ever since I was in first grade, I had admired Uncle Isidro, who also worked as a chief of the federal police in Mexico City. He had been my protector after my dad died. I knew that in Apatzingan, at that time, my life depended on learning how to fight, and more importantly, how to survive, and how to bring home the bacon. In this case, how to catch a pig. My uncle didn't know that I had volunteered to provide the food, a pig, for a banquet at our school party at the Escuela Técnica No. 5, of which I was a member of the honorary student body. My behavior right now was anything but honorary. At the time, I was the type of kid who would throw a rolled-up piece of paper to a beautiful teacher's rear end while she'd be writing on the chalkboard. Then I'd stand up, look around the room and say, "Who did that? Who the hell did that? I swear to you on my great-great-great-great-grandpa's life, if I found out who did that, I'll kick your ass. How dare you? Are you okay, Miss Beautiful?" Back to my story. All right, Elio, here we are. What do we do now? El perro, one of my friends, whispered. We wait, I said. Then we make a move. Okay, we wait for the pig to come close. We wait, then we strike, said El perro. He knew that even though this was a prank, we still were on somebody else's property. Freeze the story. Early childhood memories came to my mind. Ever since my dad was killed and my mom remarried, my uncle Isidro, my grandparents, and my aunts had been taking care of me. Grandpa Indo was a hard-working ranchero. He provided for his family, but like most rancheros, he drank a lot. And when he drank, he didn't act like a loving grandpa. I remember that time when, what the? I woke up screaming to a painful and violent beating. The frantic lashing burned, stung, and it felt like my skin was going to fall apart in pieces. This will teach you, you good-for-nothing scoundrel, drunk Grandpa Indo yelled, hitting my stupefied 6-year-old body with a horse's whip. However, to Grandpa's utter surprise, I stood up. I was standing up, slowly scanning the room and locking eyes briefly with my terrorized grandma and aunts, the unwilling witness to this unfair punishment. This household, in this part of Mexico, in this era, was run like most well-intended households were run. My grandpa was not a learned man. Much like myself, he had been orphaned 3 months before he was born. His dad had been killed in the Mexican Revolution. While Grandpa Indo was a good man, his way of showing love was to discipline, yell at me, and hit me with an unbending will. Whip me again, you big old bully. I dare you. I would not scream this time, I thought. Much like in the movie Glory, when Denzel Washington was being whipped, my tears were running out freely like a flash flood after a heavy rain. I was beginning to learn that blocking the pain in my mind's eye helped me endure the beatings, which were often hard and painful. Leave him alone! My terrified aunts and grandma screamed in unison at Grandpa. Shut up, all of you! You are the reason he defies authority, barked Grandpa. I'm going to make a man out of him, even if that's the last thing I ever do. He has to learn to be a man. Now, wait a minute, dear reader. Don't get sappy or feel pity for me. Let's rewind and put things within context. I had it coming. There was a good reason for this beating. Earlier that day, Grandpa gave me money to buy some of that queso añejo that he loved, the perfect staple to have with his fried beans and homemade tortillas. The thing was that day anyway, when I was on my way to the grocery store, some of my friends were playing football. That did it. I couldn't resist the temptation. I had to stop and play soccer, just for a little while. But Grandpa was waiting though. He was hungry and was getting drunk too. His sandals and hat were off. He was staring at his sorry-looking beans. His saggy-looking tortillas were getting cold. Not a good thing for a bean-loving person. This is personal. He's making me wait on purpose. The little son of a gun did it again. Where the hell is he? Screamed Grandpa. He was pacing now, drinking his Coke mixed with alcohol. Maybe he didn't find your cheese at the store, and he's trying to find it at another, you know? They run out of cheese this late in the day, said Grandma. This was a planned revenge by the 6-year-old. It sure looks like it, Grandpa must have been thinking. After an hour of playing football, I noticed I had money in my pocket. I had forgotten what that money was for, or where it came from. I was thirsty though, very thirsty, so I thought I deserved some well-earned refreshments for a well-played game. And being that I was a good friend, I looked at my friends and asked, "Who's thirsty? Who wants a Coke con bolillo and chile en vinagre? My treat," I announced marching towards the local grocery store with a bunch of kids behind me. "Yeah, that'll hit the spot," my friends nodded with a huge smile, following me and licking their lips. And there we were, best friends enjoying refreshments after an intense soccer game. A Coke, a bolillo, the Mexican version of French bread, and jalapenos were the perfect combination. The perfect meal, with the spicy and burning sensation of the jalapeno, was cushioned by the warm and tasty bread, and to top it off, the cold Coke was heaven to wash down such a delicious meal. Now, with a full belly and rested, I remember. Oh shit, I said. "What's wrong?" asked one of my friends. "Damn, I thought maybe Grandpa won't be at home." So I went home, but immediately ran back out. I saw Grandpa's face. I knew this would be a nasty beating, so I ran like a bat flies out of a smoking cave. "Oh, no you didn't," Paquita screamed, running after me. "Come here, stop running. If you make me run more, I'll kick your ass too." Paquita was my mom's younger sister. In fact, Paquita was just a few years older than I was, so it looked like she was my older sister. The problem was, for me anyway, Paquita ran faster than an Olympian with diarrhea. She was quick and relentless. She was the enforcer. Every time I did one of my pranks, she had chased me down like a marshal pursues a felon, grabbed me by the hair, and dragged me down to face the music. In this case, she dragged me down to face my grandpa. "No, please, no, Paquis, no," I pleaded to Paquita. "Nope, this is what you get for being a rascal," Paquita would say matter-of-factly. She wanted to make a man out of me too. She finally pushed me into the house, but my grandpa wasn't there. He had gone to the store to buy more alcohol, so I snuck back out without Paquita knowing. I knew I had to hang out on the street for as long as I could. I couldn't go home early. Grandpa would be there. He'd be awake. Grandpa would be waiting and, well, an ass whipping was due. So I stayed out playing some more with my friends. I went back home late, so I could sneak in and go to sleep, which I did, hoping Grandpa had forgotten about the cheese and maybe, just maybe, tomorrow would be another day. But no, it wasn't that easy, was it? Here I was in the middle of the night, facing the consequences, staring down at a drunk, angry, and violent Grandpa. "Where's the money I gave you?" screamed Grandpa. I only stared at the old man. I didn't scream or try to run, though. I knew Paquita would chase and catch me. But I also could hear my Uncle Isidro saying, "Take a stand. Take it like a man. You play, you pay. Make educated assessments and take calculated risks. If it's worth doing it, do it. If it's not worth it and you still do it, take responsibility. Stand up and pay for the decisions you make. You're a man. That's what men do." I hung on to the wooden headboard so I didn't fall with the impact of the violent whippings. My eyes showed no emotion, and my tears ran freely with no sign of pain. I stood alone, wrapped in deep thinking. I'll be a grown man one day, and I will not let this ever happen to me again. Not to me, not to any defenseless person, young or old. Back to my story. "Elio, we're on somebody's property. It's dangerous," said El Perro. "There's no room for mistakes. Pay attention, or we go to jail." The plan was, as El Perro had summarized there earlier, to go into somebody's ranch, spot a pig, and take it, being careful not to be detected by the owner. We would pounce on the pig like coyotes, subdue it, silence it, and tie it down as swiftly as cowboys do in rodeos. Once this was done, we would bring El Perro's brother's truck, load the pig, then leave. Mission accomplished. But wait, it didn't happen how we planned it. Right now, I was looking down the barrel of a 12-gauge shotgun. Where did this rancher come from, I thought. Are you the effing weasels who have been stealing pigs around here? Angrily asked the rancher, still pointing his shotgun at me. Answer me, you thief! I'm calling the cops on you. No, wait, sir. You see, I've been trying to push the pig away, but it won't go, I said, shooing the hog-tied pig. You see, it won't go away. It won't even move. Won't go? Not moving? Not moving? Mother effer? Of course the pig is not moving, you scoundrel. The damn pig is tied down, screamed the rancher, his right eye twitching, barking questions and spraying saliva so close to my face I could taste the menudo he had eaten. There you are, nephew, said Uncle Isidro. I've been looking for you. Uncle, I screamed. Hello, sir? Mr. Isidro? Suddenly and quietly said the rancher. Is this your nephew? My Uncle Isidro was a dangerous man. People from around there knew him. He was calculating, and at the same time he would cross the line and take risks, sometimes involving his own life. It was a jungle out there. Yes, he is. Is there a problem? My uncle pierced through the eyes of the rancher, deeper than a butcher knife cutting through a kilo of lard. The sight of a drawn weapon made my uncle warm inside. He was always ready and willing for a good fight. No, Mr. Isidro, there's no problem. I was just telling your nephew here if he needed help loading the pig on the truck, as a gift from me to you, sir, said the rancher, trembling like a wet chihuahua standing in the wind. There it was. We took the pig, cooked it, and had one of the best parties we've ever had. We'll make sure you run for president for the next SGA elections, said Haka, a rich girl from school. Thank you so much for providing this delicious carnitas. Oh, no problem. My uncle was pleased to donate the pig for our fundraising party, I said. If they only knew, I thought. I'll ask my dad next time. He's got hundreds of pigs and cattle. He'd be glad to donate one or two, said Haka, smiling.
Juan, Colorado me llaman, soy señores de Michoacán. Ya hasta los más salidones al mirarme muchos se van. Traigo mi cuerpo una silla que es de cuero, plata y marfil. Siento para que quede rendir, que viva mi tierra Michoacán y de mecharanda para brindar, que Juan Colorado ya está aquí, montado en su cuaco en huracán. Cuando me encuentro resuelto que de frente quiera pelear, con mi pistola y machete por mi suerte yo he de ganar. Que viva mi tierra Michoacán y de mecharanda para brindar, que Juan Colorado ya se va, montado en su cuenco en huracán.